So Stellar Blade. So Stellar Blade's a game that I bought on release. I got like the pre-order bonus. And I played the whole way through it. I liked the game. And also I think the game should have been nominated for Game of the Year because, it's a really fantastic game. The combat system's good. The open world stuff is like really nice. And overall, I would say it's a good game. And, the much anticipated Nier DLC came out a few days ago, and it seems like a lot of people are really enjoying it. It's like essentially just what everyone wanted. And it is paid DLC because all the DLC thus far has been free, but this DLC is paid, and I think the price is reasonable. It's $10 for like I think like four costumes, not including the ones for Adam and Lily. And I think not including the destructible outfit. Like the fact that her outfit is destructible is not like counted as like a new costume, I think. So I think it's like four, not including all that stuff. And it looks really good as you can see from the screenshots. They have A2 in there as well as like a costume. And yeah, I think Stellar Blade's a very interesting game to come out this year. It was sort of like almost like a cultural battleground and stuff. Like a lot of journalists were getting mad about it, a lot of gamers were rallying behind it, including me. I was very anti-censorship, and I supported Grum's during his whole campaign, free Stellar Blade, if you will. And yeah, things like ultimately did work out. We did get variations of the costumes that are like not censored, essentially. So like it wasn't perfect, but something did come of it, and we essentially got the game we wanted. And yeah, a lot of people are showing like these racy screenshots. But yeah, Stellar Blade, it's very interesting what was happening with this game because before it came out, a lot of journalists were going against it. There was that guy from Digital Foundry, he was saying how this is like sort of like a time capsule. How this game is years behind other games in terms of female character design because it's like essentially like problematic and stuff like that. Because how she's I guess it's like essentially a variation of the same argument that she's like being objectified and stuff like that. And that's not a good thing, but at the end of the day, it's a game. And because the argument essentially leads to the fact that they believe that this will harm women in real life and make women be objectified in real life. But at the end of the day, people can differentiate between a video game and real life. And I think the real argument is that they're just offended that um, a character who caters to men and is conventionally attractive exists. That caters primarily to men and not like on the other side. Because a lot of the other games that people will champion, not Aphrodite, Hades 2, with a character like Aphrodite, they'll champion her because the game Hades itself caters to LGBT and like other groups. So it's not seen as problematic. And Aphrodite, I guess she has like in-story reason to be sexualized. And that is because she's like the goddess of beauty and law of sex and all that. The whole Aphrodite thing. But at the end of the day, they're all objects, they're all video game characters, so it doesn't really matter. And as long as you can differentiate between what is real, what exists in real life, and a video game, it's like no big deal. Like it's kind of a variation on the video games called violence argument. And we already know how that argument always turns out, so The unfortunate thing is censorship is still occurring in like video games in general on like an industry wide scale. But hoping Stellar Blade is like the first step to sort of lessening some of that censorship that is happening. Because objectively, sex still sells. Like that has never been a thing that isn't true. Sex still sells. Like Nikkei, the other game, makes like millions per month purely on the fact that they have attractive females in the game. And I think there's nothing wrong with catering to one group. I don't really understand the argument where you can only cater you can't only cater to men. You must also cater to females. Because I think one of the arguments people give is like because women also play games and you'd I guess make more money if you cater towards both. But I don't really think things work like that. I mean, by that logic, like why make an M-rated game at all? You should just make every game like E for everyone to cater towards like the most people possible, you know? At some point you have to draw a line in the sand on who you're gonna cater to. And I mean, you could cater towards like more people, like Baldur's Gate style, but I don't think a game like has to, or it's like problematic or anything like that. So yeah, that's my whole diatribe with Stellar Blade. I think it's a fantastic game. It should have been nominated for Game of the Year, but it got snubbed. And I think a card game is one of the options for Game of the Year, but not Stellar Blade. Completely new IP. Especially it's not like a remake, it's not DLC, it's not a remaster. It's actually a new game that's you know goes on its own merits. I think all the remakes and remasters and stuff should be their own category and should not be qualified for Game of the Year. But I know Black Myth Wukong is gonna win 100% because I feel like that is the only reason that they would specifically put that rule this year. Specifically, so I mean not Black Myth Wukong. Specifically, so Elden Ring. So Elden Ring wins and Black Myth Wukong can't win. Because I mean, because they could still like if Elden Ring DLC didn't exist, they could still snub Black Myth Wukong. But I feel like there would be a lot of backlash if that happened. But if they put up the Elden Ring DLC, then there'll be less backlash because a lot of people like that game and think it's like amazing and stuff like that. So that's my I guess schizo theory. But yeah, people are comparing this to the Ubisoft Nier. I think I did a video on this. I'm not sure, but yeah, the Ubisoft one looks like a man essentially, and tries to cover as much as possible, while the Nier one, lets things hang and stuff. The first time I saw this, I thought this literally was a man. Well, when I saw like this trailer, like 2 years ago or something. So it's pretty insane. And yeah, A2's costume. A lot of people enjoying it. This kind of reminds me of because there was a collab in Nikkei that I thought was like equally as good. But yeah, the long way to collab. I'm curious if what other things are coming in the future for Stellar Blade. Like, is this the last DLC or anything? Also, they added like some other costumes that are for free. They added photo mode, which I've seen people using with like the Nier stuff. So not everything is for paying people only. There's some free DLC stuff. More costumes. And yeah, I'm glad I'm glad to see what they did with Nier. And I'm excited for, I mean, not, I'm glad what they did with Stellar Blade, and I'm excited to see what's like next for Stellar Blade. So yeah, that's all I have to say on this whole Stellar Blade X Nier collab. And yeah, remember to like, subscribe, comment, and peace.